Alright, Lions, so alongside the end of month news that we did get announced today, we also have our next set of resurrectable characters. In this case, AMAGAI, Retsu, and Makoto are finally getting their resurrections. And I'll be honest, I kind of like this banner, and keep in mind, I'm someone that's actually not watched Bleach filler besides the Zanpakuto filler arc, so I'm not even too familiar with these characters, but I'm aware of the Makoto memes. I like AMAGAI. I actually remember making a video before this character came out saying he deserves a remake with this particular form. But in general, I was a pretty big fan of this banner. And to see them get resurrected, I'm kind of down for it. So first up, right, let's have a look at what Retsu has to offer. Now, she has a potential chance to be a really good link here, because she is a 14% strong attack recharge soul trait. So with the fact that she can't inflict any status limits here, she should get a second soul trait unless they are going to make it a damage to enemies not afflicted by an element soul trait, which wouldn't be entirely too bad. Before a 14% recharge soul trait, full stamina or low stamina, depending if they want to go down that route, would be the best case scenario for a character like this. In addition to that, when it comes to the skills that she does have, I mean, she's lacking a lot of skills here because she was a mid-month unit. So she has a 40% Berserker, Bruiser, Devastation, Frenzy, Guard Break, and also Sprinter. Basically the bare minimum for a character like this when you release in 2020 as a mid-month unit. With that in mind, though, I believe she is going to be getting 3 new skills here. 2 new skills and then 1 new innate skill. Really not sure what she could get. Probably more damage at full stamina. Probably, again, damage to enemies not afflicted by an ailment. And it'd be kind of funny if they do give her Pierce Iron Skin. I'd be down for it. Why not? Let's go for it. Alright then, so let's hop over into game and see what Retsu is going to offer. This is one of the few examples, by the way, where KLab don't put their data in the game before the announcement. So we are finding out their resurrection status literally right before they do release tomorrow. So in Retsu's case, her soul trait is recharge 14% and damage to enemies not afflicted by an ailment. I expected they would go down that route. Is that really a good soul trait? I mean, I'm not really too sure. I definitely would have preferred strong attack damage at full stamina or just full stamina damage. But again, as always, has access to a great set of links already. I'm not that fussed that she isn't like a perfect soul trait. But like always, in a hypothetical situation, if I ever want to build the character to do more damage to enemies not afflicted by an ailment, I can definitely work with that. Now, one skill that we can see that she is picking up here is Havoc plus 20%. That is more range on her strong attacks, which is always good. And then with that, she does pick up Guard Break. She did get the 40% damage to enemies not afflicted by an ailment. 10% less when compared to limited characters like Thousand Year Bloodworm. So you can see Retsu as an example because she is a premium character. She is getting less treatment to a certain extent. But she was given Long Shot, which is kind of cool. So you can actually do double Long Shot with this character. And honestly, in general, I would say this is a decent resurrection. Obviously, resurrectable characters like this aren't going to compete with new characters. The standard is lower, but I mean, she got a 56% damage increase with the fact that you have Guard Break and also now Long Strides. Alongside that, Retsu always had a pretty good strong attack kit, and now you throw in the extra 20% range, this will make it a tad bit more enjoyable. A decent link, a decent upgrade. Honestly, really can't hate on the character upgrade that we did get with this particular Retsu. Next up, we have AMAGAI. So he's going to be quite the weird one because he was technically a Brave Battle unit. At the time, technically he was. This was before, you know, Captain Killer became a bit more standard for Guild Quest characters to have it. But I guess at the same time, he is a GQ unit. Didn't really get much usage in Brave Battles. At the same time, didn't even get much usage in Guild Quest content. So he was kind of always just there. I don't expect him to pick up Brave Battle skills. Instead, I just expect him to get a tad bit more damage output. And maybe that's about it. Maybe more damage to burning enemies. As a soul trait though, he is a 16% damage taken soul trait. So obviously, we would love to see no attack damage. That's basically the best thing he can get. We have plenty links like that. He wouldn't be unique in any sense, but it's probably the best route Killer can take with a character like this. When it comes to the skills, he does have a 20% Bruiser. Definitely want to see that get increased to at least 50%. Maybe it won't because he does have a 20% normal attack damage buff here to any Mind Sweeper. He has Debilitate, he has Flurry, he has Poise. Honestly, really not sure what to expect of a character like this because it has been a while since someone like this type of archetype of a character has been resurrected. I guess he'll get damage to burning, maybe some full stamina, maybe follow-up. Follow-up is a skill that we haven't seen in the game for quite some time, and no attack damage characters honestly would benefit from it. So let's find out what AMAGAI is going to be getting. So we got Guard Break as an innate skill. That's actually quite decent. Damage to burning enemies. It's expected they would go down that route. It's one of the ways KLab do increase a character's damage output. Unfortunately for him, I mean, damage taken and damage to burning, not really that good. I mean, then again, I still wouldn't actually use it. It's definitely situational. You could potentially use this link on someone like Yamamoto, the past version, who has a guaranteed chance to inflict burn and lacerate against someone like Yuhabak, for example. So I guess you could make that work, but I mean, at that point, you're still better off just giving the character, you know, normal attack damage and DR. So it's a very wonky soul trait, I will be honest, that you could potentially make work on someone like Yamamoto. The guard break is nice if you want to use the character. He now has guard break. That now seems to be the standard for the very least for new resurrectable characters. He does do 40% more damage to burning enemies. Nothing super crazy, and his bruiser only went up by 10%. Honestly, not too great of a resurrection. More so just 75 additional orbs. The link, like I said, you can potentially make work, but most likely you aren't. You're better off using normal attack damage and also damage reduction. But then we have the GOAT. The GOAT, the greatest to ever do it. Makoto AMAGAI. Makoto? What's his first name? Does he have a first name? Sure he does. That is his first name, Makoto Kibune. Honestly, again, as someone that has not watched the filler arc, his design is very weird. He looks weird, but his Zanpakuto looks so sick. And I remember playing with this character for the first time 4 years ago, and I was like, you know, this character isn't too bad. So, recharge, 12% as a soul trait. Likely what we are going to see here is damage to lacerated enemies. That's what he's likely going to get, just more damage to lacerated enemies. In a power attribute, I don't think for the time being that'll be all that good. Obviously, wouldn't say no to strong attack damage, full stamina, but we just got a really good link with Ryuken. Don't really expect this character to get an equally as good soul trait. And again, like I said, even if he doesn't get a good soul trait, we already have access to a great set of links as is. So this character might just get the filler slot, and by that, just get damage to lacerated enemies. In terms of skills, he has Berserker, Bruiser, Debilitator, Frenzy, Devastation, Guard Break, and also Sprinter. And maybe to be fair, that was what was special about this unit when he first released, is that he had Guard Break as a mid-month, and that's why he kind of felt okay to play with when I first actually got my hands on him. In general, though, I'm expecting his Berserker to go up hopefully by 20%, right? More damage to lacerated enemies, and maybe Havoc as a innate ability. So let's find out. So he does get Havoc as an innate ability. That's expected. That's going to be good if you do want to use him. He also then does get 20% more damage to lacerated enemies, an extra 10% Berserker, and also more damage to lacerated enemies. For the most part, a bare bones resurrection, I will be honest. All three character links are niches in their own right. You can use them, but most likely you aren't. The characters themselves were never anything super special, so these characters' resurrectable upgrades are kind of just the bare standard, right? They got the guard break, some characters got Havoc, which is always nice to see, and they got a bit more damage. Nothing crazy, nothing unique here, but it is our second resurrectable batch of the month, so if you do own these characters, that's 200 plus orbs. They're premium, you most likely do have them. And that's what this is more so is, just more orbs. And now we wait for our next set of resurrectable characters, which might not even be too far away. Since these characters resurrectable status wasn't put into the game early, you know, we're only finding out a day before they do release. For all we know, we could find out our next resurrectable characters this time next week, if they get put into the game files early. In terms of our next premium characters that get resurrected, it should finally be 5th anniversary Ichigo and Byakuya, who I was always saying should happen in January, and now it kind of lines up perfectly, right? January mid-month, so this time in 2 months, we should get the resurrectable upgrades for 5th anniversary characters. Our next resurrectable upgrade should surprisingly, and it is crazy to think that this is happening, should be round 14 Ichigo and also Rukia, the final or almost final round of 1000 Year Blood War manga characters. They should be done in 2 weeks' time. And then at the end of the month, so this time next month, basically, at the end of the year, we should be getting Ririka, Rengikyu, and also Momo resurrected. They would have been also decently timed to happen right now, since we are getting Christmas characters. But it does make more sense to do it at the end of the year, since that is more closer to Christmas. But yeah, the main takeaway is that we have some really good, hopefully, resurrections coming our way soon. Round 14, Ichigo and Rukia at the end of the year. And then at the start of the year, we should hopefully get 5th anniversary characters resurrected. So looking forward to those. As for this resurrection badge, like I said, nothing super crazy. Basically the bare minimum. But we will take the orbs nonetheless. Hope you guys enjoyed the video though. See you guys next time. Take care and peace.